What's up, man? Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Oh, absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me, King.
Hey, man. Why don't you tell everyone who you are, man?
I'm Oiver North. I'm a public speaker and consultant. I started a company titled Only Thoughts of Ownership about a decade ago. And we've just been traveling around the country, impacting, saving lives. Really hitting this education system pretty hard. So
we spoke before the podcast. You just got done with your dream tour?
the It's Okay to Dream tour,
It's
yeah.
Okay to Dream Tour. What was that?
So just about 7 years ago, we started something called the OK2D tour, which stands for the It's Okay to Dream tour. And in the education system, what they do is begin to structure students into society so they can become like everyone else,
Yeah.
right? So what we wanted to do was go back into the education system and remind students how important it is to maintain their imagination and see something beyond going to school and getting a good job, right? So begin to ask 3 really fundamental questions. But first, there's one question we've all been asked around the second grade. You think you could tell me what that is?
I have no idea, to be honest.
It's what do you want to be when you grow up?
Got it.
Everybody's been asked
Yeah.
that question. But what we found in education is no one asks you what would you like to start, create, or own. How to use your own brain to innovate out. So we wanted to bring that to the table as an offering to say you can create something yourself and bring it to the marketplace or to the world of value and not just be a worker.
And it's funny is like as your kids, almost as you get older, your dreams become more normalized because society wants to say that you're crazy.
Absolutely.
You know, like I want to do this, and then it's
Yeah.
like all of a sudden, and as a parent, like as an adult,
Yeah.
like I sometimes even think that, you know what I mean? Like when someone's like, I want to play in the NBA, it's like, okay, well your dad's 5'5" and your mom's 5'1".
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah.
that and it sucks because as adults, we almost get like life beats you down, and then we push that onto kids. This show is sponsored by Resilient Real Estate Group, powered by EXP. So, you're thinking about buying and selling soon? Yes, we know you probably know a realtor, your mom's best friend's cousin's neighbor, who puts her face on the local shopping cart. But you know what? Our friends at Resilient Real Estate Group have helped hundreds of thousands of people sell houses over the years, and they definitely know what they're doing based on their 5-star review on Google and Zillow. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to buy $1 million house or a fixer-upper, make sure the next time you're thinking about buying and selling real estate, you give our friends a call over at Resilient Real Estate Group. And now we're back to the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And that's exactly what happens. So you got educators that probably don't even want to be educators in some
100%.
cases, right? So they're like, you can't do that. You're not going to, what? This.
Or they didn't get to their goal, so it's like, well, if I can't do it, why do you think you can do it?
Absolutely.
And it's like, I mean, the thing is, as you get more successful, that human nature doesn't realize, even though everyone's like, oh, I'd be.
Yeah.
At some point, now that someone's gonna call you crazy.
Yeah. And what's wrong with being crazy?
Yeah.
It's the way that we look at it, right? You got to be nuts to quit your corporate job, cold turkey, take all your debit cards, your credit cards, max them out, take any type of savings that you have, max that out, get your car repossessed, live in a room for 5 years that you could barely afford, drive Lyft and Uber, barely make rent, and start a public speaking company that impacts people's lives. You got to be kind of crazy.
What made you I love asking this question to these people. Do you remember the moment that you were like, I'm doing this? Do you remember that moment?
Absolutely.
I swear to God, every person who has a small business always goes, I remember that moment. What was that moment for you?
So the moment where I was like, I'm out of here, that moment there was, I used to drive to San Diego every morning. For those of y'all watching, we are in Riverside County.
90?
Yeah, so it would be an hour and a half drive up to San Diego every morning. I'd be out of the house by 4:30, in my seat before 6 a.m. And what I noticed is there were only a few individuals in the main office that were like managers. And I worked for a roofing materials company, second largest roofing materials company in the U.S. They were training me to take over the branch. So I built a relationship with a lot of the Latino guys that came in that did a lot of the shipments and deliveries. And they had this one guy that they called Chinito guy because he had a long beard and he was dark skinned. And so they used to make jokes like, you two are brothers, because I'm the only black guy in the office. And, you know, it'd be great. We, laugh, joke, everything like that. And one day, I remember it rained, it stormed like crazy, flooded. And, California, we don't really get that much rain. And Chinito guy, he died on his route that night. But I remember seeing him the day before, and we were joking. I showed him, I was like, hey, you look like the guy from Savages. So I showed him the movie, and everybody's like, oh, man, he does like him. This is literally the day before. So then that Monday I come in on work, and everybody has this long face because he passed away on his route that weekend. And when I was in the management meetings, the managers were talking about, how do we get the employees to work the day of his funeral? And I'm sitting here like, whoa, shouldn't we be going to support the family? Like, he worked here for 14 years.
Yeah.
His cousin, his brother works here. And I'm just like tripping out because I get to see behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, you know what we can do? We could load up the trucks. We could put a flag with his name on it, and we could drive the truck that he drove to the funeral, let everybody do the service, and then they can go to work right after. And I was like, oh, y'all don't even value life here. You're just going to bring in the next guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm gone. I'm out of here. This is it. It's over.
Isn't it? It's so crazy that we put our jobs so high up there, and if you died, you don't think they're gone. It almost takes moments like that when someone passes away that's close to you to make you realize how the world will not stop.
Absolutely.
At all. And no one really cares.
No one really cares.
No one really cares. It's the most mind-blowing thing. My sister's has 3 kids. Her boyfriend of like 5 years passed away like maybe 3 months ago. And maybe 2 months ago now. And everyone needs to be there. And I told my parents, I'm like, we don't need to be there right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be around her. All her friends his friends, everyone's going to be around. It's not now. It's 6 months from now.
Right.
It's a year from now.
Right.
It's 15 months from now. And that's the problem. It's like, I learned this. Do you know who Gary Vee is?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
I remember Gary Vee like, I'll probably get like 6 hours of morning and a tweet. And then the next day, everyone will forget about me.
Yeah.
And it's really like, that's the truth. So it's like in your life, it's like, why not go after what you want?
And here's the thing. We all living like we got tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're all living like we're going to make it to 105. My nephew passed away in 2017 at 4 years old. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We all don't. There's the clock on the wall. That's an illusion. This is a continuous thing. No, it's an hourglass. Yeah. This thing runs out, and no one knows how long you have. And that's why talking with Chinito guy and then coming in the next Monday and he's gone, you're like, what am I afraid of? Yeah. And everybody around you that loves you are going to say, well, how are you going to make money? How are you going to eat? How are you going to feed yourself? You got the master's degree, right? But what about my soul? What about how I feel going to work every day? What about actually impacting someone's life for real?
Do you feel like do you feel like there's a way of difference where people say like, if you love what you do, you never work, and then they put this thing where you're gonna love your job every day? Like, I think there's too much of that extreme. It's like, well, I only want to do what I love. Okay, great. There's still gonna be days that you hate it.
Yeah. Look, it is a give and take, right?
There's still like, I don't care if you're doing. I love what I do.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes I'm like, dude, I do not want to do this today.
Yeah.
But that don't mean I don't love it.
Yeah, but you could also choose not to do it that day, right? And then you also can think back to why I'm doing this. What is the reason, right? Like, so for me, I'm a public speaker. I have a whole team. I do a tour. I bring a DJ, production crew. I bring hands. I bring all of these folks. But I don't have to do that. I could just be like, look, we trimming the fat, and I'm going to just stand on stage and speak at conferences, me and a film guy.
That's all you need.
That's it, right? But at the end of the day, what wakes me up is knowing that I'm paying people's mortgages, their
100%.
bills. I'm
Without
impacting
accountability.
lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of just my immediate family, there's people that have committed to my vision and my mission. I got a responsibility to them. You know what I'm saying?
That's the one thing that sucks about, for me personally, being like a small business owner with 5 employees, is that when people want to push like corporate taxes and things like that, they think of like Amazon.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, I'm a corporation too, and it's like you're really hurting
Yeah.
me.
Right, right.
Like, I can't give my people a raise if I get hit with a 10 extra percent tax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like
Unless we know the game.
separation.
Unless we know the game.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. When we start talking about education, why don't they teach the game in school?
Well,
It's because they don't want you to know. So when I first started and I was saying, hey, I got something called the It's Okay to Dream Tour. I want to come to your school and I want to talk to students about the importance of imagination and dreaming. You know, nobody would even call me back.
Of course not.
They didn't worry about that. What impacts my bottom line?
Yeah.
What about my 5 core pain points, my migraine pain points? So I had to learn to speak to what they value and how what I have to offer impacts their bottom line.
I mean, that's a smart business move.
Hey, man, you gotta be
gotta play the game.
strategic. Exactly.
I mean, the transition from the reason I think that the whole thing about, oh, you need to get an education, you need to get a 4-year degree, that's how you're going to make a good money, is because I think the colleges became so profitable.
Absolutely.
So then it was like, oh, this is a business model.
Yeah, yeah.
So we keep telling these people, you got to get a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
And this is the most messed up thing. And we'll give an 18-year-old kid as much money they want to go to college, and you can't bankrupt yourself out of it. So you're always gonna have
the
to
only
pay.
loan you cannot go bankrupt
Yeah.
on. What a genius concept. It's the 3-man weave right in front of your face. And the thing is, it's like they've been selling you this model and marketing this to everyone. So then when you look at going outside of that, everybody looks at you like something's wrong with you. Or if college isn't your route, what's wrong with you? You're not smart enough. You're not this. And if you're not going to college while everybody else is going off to college, you feel like you're less than.
Well, then it's that whole thing then where, you're a senior in high school, where are you going? Community college or whatever. And then it's like, but the worst part, I know this is I think the new thing. I think entrepreneurship is pretty big now the last few years with YouTube and all that stuff. But
Thank God.
I know a lot of people that are plumbers that make a great freaking living, dude.
Man.
Like, I think people need to forget that. Like, there are some, I know a buddy of mine who runs a plumbing company. He's the owner
Getting
of it,
chipped.
but they make cheddar.
Yeah.
They make some real freaking money.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, they took all the trades out the schools too.
Exactly.
Right? So they've been stripping away ways for you to create for self and those around you. And they've put you in a position where you can become a worker and not think. So even today, when we take 17-year-olds or 21-year-olds and we're giving them an opportunity, what I've noticed is they all wait for you to give instruction. And I put them in positions to say, what do you think?
Yeah.
What should we do here? What's the problem? Hey, look at this. Tell me what the issue is and how would you solve it?
I think I don't know if just with kids anymore. I think obviously we deal with a lot of clients, and that aspect of what are we gonna do is like the number one question I get now. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Let's just stop and think for a second and let's solve a problem. But now I think that the ability to solve problems very quickly is so valuable in this state of mind that if you can do that, whatever space you do, you'll be profitable.
And then here's the next thing, right? Like, so the education system is so funny, and they've like had this mastermind thing going where they make you think like education is the important thing.
Yeah.
When America really values entertainment.
100%. Look at TikTok. Look at YouTube.
Will Smith makes $20 million a movie. What does your English teacher make?
Agree.
We value entertainment. What does Tom Brady make?
Exactly.
Okay, not even Tom Brady. What is the third running back on the
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's be for real. We telling these kids, especially if you come from the trenches or you come from where low social economic areas, we're telling them to go to school, get in debt when my lights is getting cut off. I can't feed myself. What? So it's interesting that they market this, but really show you that we value this.
Well, and then too, I mean, I was very fortunate. Obviously, I think life, wherever you grow up, definitely starts.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that's not true. So I was fortunate enough to grow up in Riverside in middle class America. But I don't think that some people don't have 5-6 years to go to college and then start making money and then pay off. Like, they need to make money now.
Right now, yeah.
And
otherwise, I'm gonna do something, throw my life away.
Yes, and I mean, I'll believe this, and I'd say blue into the face. I think 99, not 99. A lot of our problems in America are economic problems. It's I don't have enough money to survive, so I gotta go do something I don't want to do because it's starve or do this thing. Yeah. Which one am I gonna do?
And what burns me on the inside is a lot of those economic challenges were by design.
100%.
And that right there just blows my mind every time I think about it. And that's why I think entrepreneurship is so important. I titled my company Only Thoughts of Ownership because I need you to know I don't work for you. I work with you. And every kid that sees me needs to know, oh, that man's an entrepreneur. That man creates jobs. He provides for people. I want to be like him. Yeah, he got gold on. Yeah, he got, he got a ball cap on. He got the Yeezys on. I want to be like him. He don't got to play ball. Yeah. He don't got to, you know what I'm saying? He don't make music. He don't rap. Yeah, but I want to be like him. What's this entrepreneurship thing you talk about? We can start teaching kids how to be entrepreneurs when they're 7 years old. While you staying at home with your mom as a 16-year-old and she paying all your bills, let's get you to fail as many times as possible. Let me invest 10, 15, 20 grand in you learning and applying versus sitting in the classroom with a business professor that's never done it.
A business.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't care. Don't tell me how to run a business unless you sat there. I had someone on last week who sells businesses. That's it. Like,
okay.
Someone comes to him, hey, I want to sell my business. He brokers it out, whatever.
Okay.
And I was like, he's like, don't tell me you know how to do business until you sat on a Thursday when payroll is due Friday, and you only got $500 in your account, and you got to figure out how to get payroll over by Monday.
Oh
you
God.
Know what I mean? Or rent's due on one day, and you got to make a decision. Do I invest my money into this, or what do I do?
Yeah.
Until you've done that, do not tell me how to run a business.
Oh, hey, man. Period. I don't care what book you read.
You'll never.
Yeah.
And the reason I learned that is I just ran a marathon on Sunday. First marathon.
Hey, okay.
Thank you. And my coach was like, just go out and do it. Whatever your time is, just go out and do it, and we'll talk afterwards.
Yeah.
And he goes, because you know why? I go, why is that? He goes, I can't tell you what mile 21 is going to feel like. I can't tell you.
You can't simulate that.
I can't tell you what mile 25 feels like. You could read it in books and you can watch videos, but till you hit that wall, because you're going to hit it. We all do. I can't explain to you in words what it's going to feel like. Yeah. And I am not going to try because that is doing a disservice to you.
Yeah.
And when I hit that wall at mile 18,
so you didn't even hit 21, you get it at 18.
I was like, holy crap, I still have 8 more miles to go. And I was like, and I still got an hour and a half out here. And in that moment in time, I could have called an Uber. I had my phone on me. I called my girl because she ran the half. I called my girl at mile 20. I'm done. And she's like, you're quitting? I'm like, no, I'm not quitting. I'm walking right now, and I'm going to jog, and I'm going to walk, but I'm going to take a lot longer than you think. So you're going to be waiting a little bit longer. She's like, okay. She's like, I'll meet you at mile 25. And I'll help you through. And that is something, I'll tell you what, that is business right there.
Yes.
You got to keep walking.
Yo, you getting in business, you're swimming upstream, and then the pandemic hits and something's happened in the world that's never happened before. Yo, they shut the whole school system down. What we do?
Yeah.
Right? I got to switch my whole business model. If you ain't been through nothing like that, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't trying it.
But this is the best time because then you get through the hard time, all the weak people quit, and then you just take up more market share.
Yeah, let's open up the lanes. It's clear now.
Yes.
And
it's almost like all the people are going away.
And all entrepreneurship is It's a self-help tool
Yeah.
with a monetary gain attached to the back end
On the
of
back
it.
end of it.
It's not up front. It's
No.
not immediate. So everybody like, yo, I'm about to get this lick. I'm going to start this business and run it up. It might happen, but 9.8 times out of 10, strap on your seatbelt, lace up your boots real tight, because this climb is going to be like something you've never experienced before. However, it is also the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, and I encourage anybody to undertake this type of movement.
You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
Do you feel like everyone could be an entrepreneur, or do you feel like some people need to be number 2 or number 3 in charge?
Everybody could be an entrepreneur, and some people need to be number 2 and number 3 in charge, right? Just because you're number 2 don't mean you don't own the company.
Agree.
Just because you're number 5 don't mean you ain't fully invested.
Got it.
Right? You don't got to make all of the day-to-day plays. You don't got to have the idea. Bring your bread to the table.
Yeah.
Somebody need to be funded. You might be like, I only got 10 racks, but you catch somebody at the beginning, your 10 might be that 10
that they need.
You feel what I'm saying? So there's different ways to skin this cat, and people just look at it wrong because of how they outline it.
Or do you think ego gets in the way?
Yeah, absolutely. For some people, I need to be the guy.
Yeah.
But you're not the guy.
I tell everyone too. I'm like, I look at myself as an NBA team. Not everyone can be LeBron.
Yeah, no.
But I'll tell you what, like let's take MJ. You know, Phil Jackson was a big important person to MJ.
He's not Michael. He's not Michael Jordan that we know without him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So some people are Phil.
Yeah.
Some people are Pippen.
Yeah. Oh man.
You know what I mean?
Pippen's a great life. He got 6 rings.
Yeah.
Top 50 player. Yeah.
And the problem is, but Pippen thinks he's MJ when just be happened that you're Pippen. Dude.
Yeah. And some people are D Wade.
Yeah.
And need to realize, oh, there's a LeBron James
100%.
coming.
Yeah.
Let me step back and play more of a Phil Jackson role. It's self-awareness. That's why I say entrepreneurship is self-development with a financial gain on the back end. You've got to be self-aware if you're going to hop in this game. You've got to be self-aware. And that's why I think we got to start training children early. Because if we start training children and teenagers, about time they get to 18, 21, 25, we would have groomed them through some of the day-to-day monotony, and you don't have to go through some of the same struggles that somebody like me had to go through, right? So I got a friend right now. I'm coaching her through her grind. She's an amazing fashion designer, right? She can buy and sell clothes. She's an amazing stylist. However, I've had to coach her, hey, in entrepreneurship, you got to make some adjustments. So maybe right now it's time to step back from the business a little bit, right? Let's go get some capital. Maybe you'll have this job. Let's put a plan together. Is it 6 months? Is it 12 months? Is it 18 months? And then what you want to do is you want to get enough capital to fund your business. And then once your business meets your salary currently, you can make a decision. Do I leave the gig, or do I push my revenue a little bit over my current salary and then let the gig go? There's ways to skin this cat, but everybody think you need to just jump off and go. Everybody don't got the same steam.
Well, that's the biggest mistake that people make in real estate. In real estate is owning your own company for sure. I tell everyone, if you're getting into this job broke, you'll leave broke. You can't make the money quick enough because people think, oh, I'm just gonna get my license, and then someone's gonna hit me up. I'm gonna sell their house. I'm gonna make
and it's
20
on.
racks,
Yeah, I'm rocking. Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, it doesn't work that way. Like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you might get lucky once or twice, maybe, But it's, like I have a team and we have meetings on Monday and I'm like, hey, we're in a hard market.
Man.
If you're not putting 80 hours a week in, I was like, you're competing with me.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a very long time and I work a lot.
Yeah.
So why do you think you're going to beat me?
Yeah. It's
if
not,
someone knows you and someone knows me, who are they going to call? They're going to call me.
Yeah.
So you better be competing with us.
Well, that's why LeBron James is talking to Buddy from Memphis like, yo, bro, you ain't earned enough stripes to dance with me yet, dog. Like, I've been doing this for too long. I know all the tricks of the trade. I've been doing this since you was in middle school, big dog.
It's interesting that in America, you said it earlier, that we worship athletes, but we don't take what athletes show us and put it in our own lives. I don't understand that method where you can worship an athlete, but that athlete has trainers and coaches, and they probably have more people around them.
Yep.
Taking care of
business. They got everybody.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. They're taking care of everything for them. But then you have a sit down with someone, and they're like, I want to get here. You're like, all right, well, you're going to need this person around you. You're going to need this person around you. Nah, man, I want to do this all myself. You're not. You're just not. I mean, just take LeBron on Cleveland before he went to Miami. It was him.
Right.
He could get there. He could never win.
Right.
Then he comes back. They put some players around him. They put
structure, understanding.
Yeah, they put
Kyrie
Irving around him, and he wins.
Right.
Like, it's not by act. It's like the model is there.
So Jay-Z,
we don't put that in our life.
Jay-Z said, and it's a quote that I keep on my blackboard. Most people emulate the end result and not the process.
Yeah.
The success happens in the process. And if you understand process, you could get the end result. I study successful people because there's a formula, and all I have to do is take a little bit from over here and a little bit from over here, and I could create my own formula. When I used to manage a gym, people would come in, I would sell them gym memberships. I was the #1 seller of personal training packages. You know why? Because I would ask them what your goals are and what's important to you. Why are you here? Now I'm talking to something deeper than just coming into the gym to work out, right? And then also, well, you're going to come in here, tell me your routine. What are you going to do? Okay, your goals are this, but you don't even have a routine worked out. Okay, do you know who Michael Jordan is? Yeah, he had a trainer. He has a shooting coach. He has all of these people. What makes you different than Michael Jordan? Don't you think you could utilize somebody to provide a plan and a structure for you? And the trainer isn't just about making sure you have a plan. It's when you get on rep 12 and your elbow goes out versus staying in, and you don't want to tear your muscle. And he's like, you got to keep that elbow in, tuck that elbow. Let's take it slow. Okay, look, we ain't gonna get to 12 today. Let's rack it. Right? And then it's that person in your ear like, let's go, champ. You got this.
It makes your life so much easier. I want to make less decisions, but the decision I make are more impactful.
Yeah.
Like my brother works for me, and a few other people around me, and I'll be like, my brother today, we're driving around, we meet some clients, whatever. He's like asking us, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not thinking about. He's like, why is that? I'm like, that decision doesn't take. That's not that decision that you want me to make for you or whatever doesn't even affect the outcome. Or I don't even know what I'm facing yet, so why am I going to worry about
spend all of this energy?
No. Sometimes I just want to sit there and not think about anything.
Because you know why? You think at a high level most throughout the day.
So I just want to take a break.
Yeah, and why bother myself with decisions that have no true impact on the overall of this thing? So, and just to say this, right, we're talking a lot about entrepreneurship, and I believe in entrepreneurship. Obviously, you believe in entrepreneurship, but if you have a job that you love and it's the dream job and you wake up 70% of the time and you're juiced and gassed to go to work, hey, bro, that's your lane. That's what you're doing. That's where you're supposed to be. But in your heart of hearts, if you're unhappy, and you're complaining about the gig and you hate what you do, like studies show over 70% of the population hate their job, not dislike, not want to do something different, but hate. If you're in this bubble, I think you would do yourself a service to figure out what another route would be, and that might be entrepreneurship.
Well, and two, especially right now, if you leave that job, there's probably you're gonna be able to go find another one.
Come on, bro.
There's jobs everywhere.
When I quit my corporate job, I remember speaking to the dean. Shout out to Eileen Bezjian, Dr. Bezjian. She said, Oliver, how are you going to eat? I said, Dr. Bezjian, do you realize my family and I, we slept at Ganesha Park? Like, I know how to get here.
Yeah.
I know how to interview. I know how to get another job. I've already mastered the art of getting here. This is light. I'm going to go do this and challenge myself for something way greater than me. Because I could have kept staying in that company, make $200,000-$300,000 a year, and I'm good. But what about my bros? What about my family? What about the people that are about to succumb to this system and go through depression because they hate what they do every day? It's got to be bigger than you.
And if you've been there, you're not scared to ever go back. It's like I've survived it once. Why would I not be able to survive it again?
Yeah. If I need to hunker down for a minute, get things in line, it's going to be there. They're going to need you as an employee.
Yeah.
That's why when people go on interviews, they're all nervous. I'm like, you don't even understand. That company needs you as bad as you need them, if not more, because you're going to invest time, but they're going to invest a number of set resources to bring you on, train you, get you up to speed, get you in their culture, make sure that you're a fit, make sure you ain't going to do nothing shiesty, and then be a productive, contributing employee. That's a lot of investment in a person that can be like, you know what? I'm out of here. I don't really like this. So you should walk in confident. You should tell them why they want to have you as an employee. You just don't have that level of confidence.
The problem is that confidence. I think confidence is the most important thing in this world.
Yeah.
People who are confident, they can take over. You put someone
even if you don't know what you're doing, for real.
Dude, I try to tell people all the time. They're like, "How did you do so well in the beginning?" I was like, "I was blindly confident."
Yeah.
And I walked into rooms, and because I think when you come to terms that one, I'm never gonna have all the answers.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know how to do everything.
Yeah.
And that's okay. When you get past that whole thing, then what is there to be? Like, no one's gonna go, ha ha, I got you.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Like,
we're still living in like the high school.
Like you're
like,
in class,
yeah.
someone calls on you and you go, what's the answer? And you're like, I don't know. And everyone's like, oh, like
yeah, nah, bro.
No one cares.
Nobody's looking at your sneaks. Nobody's about to joke on your jersey. Like, it's good, bro. Just get out there and do you, bro. Because one thing that I know for certain is everybody's trying to figure it out. Nobody has all of the answers.
The difference is I think successful people ask a lot faster than non-successful people. They're not ashamed to ask. Like, I am in a group where it's like, we have a group of about 10 guys, all very successful, under 40. And it's like, yo, how do I do this?
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you feel so stupid to ask it, hey, dude, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
How do you do this? I see you're doing this really well. Let's hop on a call tomorrow at 11. All right, cool. Like, this room, they all hit me up like, hey, just tell me every piece of gear you have, and I'll just buy that gear, because if it doesn't work, then I could call you. You could tell me how to do it, and I'm just not going to waste the time trying to figure this out on my own, because I'd rather just copy you than you've already done it.
You've already done a lot of the research.
So why waste the time to do it? But I just think that's the big flaw. Like,
because of training.
Exactly.
Because of training. We are not trained that failure is a benefit. You get an F on the test, you're stupid.
Yeah.
He can't cut it. Oh, we need to remove his class. No, there is something that he or she did not do well enough to retain this information. Failure is not a bad thing. It is your best friend if you can take it in and lower the ego and ask more questions. Oh, God, I just was driving back with my brother. We just got back from Houston, Texas yesterday. My little brother graduated, so we went out there to go throw him his graduation party. So we're driving back, and I'm telling him, hey, I go to these cigar nights with my guy Makai and Ed, and what I do is I sit at their feet. I don't know anything when I walk in this room but questions, because I'm sitting at their feet. I'm not interrupting their answers. I am asking questions and just soaking the game. Why? Because they are way more seasoned than I am. Ed goes, hey, bro, you need traction. Traction is going to 10x your business.
The book?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
Hey, you should get into this entrepreneur course. This is going to take you to this next level. Bang, done, bang, done. And then I go back and I take that to my boys. Hey, you should get on traction. Hey, you should look into this course. This is what I'm doing. What you doing over there? How did you do this? You got to be curious. You have to be, because the game is in people's brains and books. So if you're not asking questions and you're not studying, you're missing out on pretty much free game.
Yeah. Yeah, Traction's a great book.
Phenomenal.
Everyone runs Traction.
And
I didn't know about Traction until I got in the right room where people started talking about it. I didn't know what it was, and then all of a sudden I was like, yeah, I do Traction. I'm like, how have I never heard of this freaking book?
What am I
doing?
You don't know what you don't know, and that can hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
It could really hurt you.
It's just being around the people that are doing what you're already doing at a high level.
Yeah.
And if you bring some value to them, or you show them that you're trying really, really hard, it almost like inspires you to be like, I remember when I was there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you want to help those people.
Absolutely. I was just watching Magic Johnson, and he was saying he was trying to meet with, I believe it was Dr. Buss, to learn business. And he would not meet with him until he could prove to him that he was serious about running business. So, he told him to go do a couple of things. Magic did those things. And then Magic came back and said, look, the things that you asked me to do, I checked them off. So he finally sat down with him and he met with him. He said, you think you're the best basketball player? He said, absolutely. Like, no, do you think you're the best? Is anybody better than you? He said, no. He was like, well, then you need to have the best accountant. You need to have the best agent. You need to have the best this, the best that. He went home and he fired everybody that wasn't the best. And he went and got those folks to help him improve his business. But that man was able to talk to him about specific niche things that Magic needed to adjust in his business. Now, he is one of the most astute businessmen that we know. And that's all from getting game. Mm-hmm. You only get game when you ask and you study. There is absolutely nothing wrong with gaining information. People think knowledge is power. It is only potential power. Applied knowledge is true power. You've got to get the information and then apply the information. And failure, there's nothing wrong with that. It's your friend. You should laugh at yourself and you should figure out, this is the worst I'll ever be.
Well, I think failure is how you react to it, and that's how you'll determine how successful you be.
Yeah.
Is if when it gets hard, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you run and hide, or do you go, okay, all right, this is where we're at. Let's take a deep breath. Let's have a little second and process what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then all right, let's get after it.
Well, that's why I teach, especially kids that come from the trenches, you got to leg up. Now, you might not have all of the business acumen, but you have a grit factor that you cannot manufacture. Where you come from, your environment, you always have to be on your toes. You always have to be ready to go. And you've met with a lot of opposition already. So when your back is against the wall, you should be like, bang. You should be like, I come from the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? I was born in it, molded by it. This is your friend. So when I do business deals right now, I'm meeting with superintendents. I'm in there chilling. I'm laughing. We joking because some of the deals that I was doing, we was in the trenches. It could mean your life.
Yeah.
So this is a completely different situation. This is all gravy.
What's the worst that could happen? They say no?
Absolutely.
And then you go home?
And I've already practiced because I'm a trained salesman.
Yeah.
5 rebuttals, and I'm thinking ahead of you, and you think you got me, and I'm just like, yeah, well, let me remove that rebuttal off the table. Okay, I see that pitch coming. Let me remove that off the table. Here's why I'm an asset to you. How many employees do you have? How much does it cost you to train them? So what will happen if you dip in revenue 5%? So what if I can raise your revenue 2% versus the drop it? You know what I'm saying? Now they're like, whoa. Oh, well, how could you do that?
And you take them off guard because they're not expecting that. So now they come into the meeting probably unprepared. And then you're like, bing, bang, boom. And they're like, oh, crap. That sounds great. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think that's like, that is the problem. Is it is pushing the narrative. The worst part about it is in life they can push the narrative however they want, and it's like the negative that you can make sound negative could actually be such a positive thing. It's the way you perceive it and way you see it.
Man.
You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
Man, and so if you go back to what I titled my company, Only Thoughts of Ownership, but people think it's just about business ownership, but it's about ownership in every aspect of life. Thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and actions lead to results. So the way that you think is going to lead to a set of feelings, which then you're going to dictate your actions. Based off of the actions you do, I can pretty much dictate the results that you're going to get. So therefore, in your mind, you have to see things that no one else can see. You have to be above the fray, because once you have that, you'll walk into meetings more confident. You'll walk into any situation knowing it's the way that I perceive it. It's not what is actually happening. Any adversity you go through is only temporary. I'm a former foster child. I went to 5 different foster homes before I was 6 years old. My mother and father, they both sold drugs and were addicted to drugs, right? We slept at the park. We stayed in a motel for an entire year when I was in the 5th grade, called the Red Roof Inn, right? I went to college 10 minutes down the road from there. I started my business in Moreno Valley, where I moved with my dad when I was in the 7th grade, because I started to change my thinking as I got older. I started to get into books. I started to study successful people. I was watching Eric Thomas and I saw what he did well. Yeah. So once I started changing the way that I thought, I changed the way that I felt about myself. Once I changed the way that I felt by myself, then I could start making different actions. And then on those actions, I already knew what the result was going to be. I just didn't know when they were going to bear fruit. And if you could stay consistent and you have enough persistence, you're going to get there regardless. Because when my back is against the wall, I'm bang.
Yeah.
I'm bang.
Well, and hopefully nowadays it's so available for everyone. Like E.T. and like guys like that, like to see the level, there's no reason why you can't, if you have the motivation or you want to know. I mean, like, I know there's, especially when I first started in this whole stuff, like, I deep dived into that stuff, motivation, and kept going, and I'd have like my favorites, you know, I would like listen to.
That's like step 1.
Yeah, exactly. Like you almost have to become obsessed with the process of being around and consuming that stuff, because it makes you then becomes autopilot. Yeah. And I think that's the problem that people don't get. They don't get far enough into it to make it where it's autopilot. So when that thing comes up in their life, they don't go back to their old thoughts. They go to their new thoughts. Yeah. They go, this is how I react or whatever. Yeah. The hard part now is I'm such a logical thinker now, because I believe every mistake we make is when we make it with an emotional decision, that I'm so logical that even my girlfriend's like, God, you look at everything so logical. I'm like, I have to, because there are a lot of moments when I'm upset and I'm mad or I'm happy or whatever I am. If I make that decision in my business or for a client based on those things, there's a chance I might make a poor decision because it's emotionally based. Right. So and that's super why logical thinking all the time.
Slowing down, taking a breath saves lives.
100%.
Changes the world. Just slow down, take a breath. Sometimes you step away, come back to it. Patience is an amazing thing if you can master it or begin to practice it. All of these things come along with entrepreneurship. So when I'm talking about entrepreneurship, you don't actually have to start a business. The only thing I really think needs to happen is we have to teach you to develop the mind of an entrepreneur, the desire of an entrepreneur. You don't actually have to go start a business. You will be a better employee if you think like an entrepreneur, because you know why your role is so important.
Well,
Why it's so vital.
And then if you like your job, then you're going to move up more because the owner of the company looks at you like as a true asset. That's the thing is that if you are someone who can think like an owner and can solve problems for that person, you then become super valuable.
You can write your check.
You then demand whatever
write your
amount
ticket.
of money you want.
Yeah. Hey, if not, I'm gonna take this somewhere else.
I'll take it somewhere else.
Yeah. And then I have a portfolio and a resume.
And that owner knows how hard it is to find an employee like you because they interview people all the time. And so if you are just that much better and think a little bit different and actually show the owner, hey, I care about this company more than just being an employee, it's unstoppable.
Man, they're going to try to keep you forever.
They're gonna do whatever it takes.
Man, they're going to send you on trips. They're going to send you Christmas because you're keeping them in business.
Keeping a great employee I would rather pay a great employee more money than fire them, then have to find another employee because that costs revenue.
Yeah.
And then train them, and then they might not work out. Then I fire them. Then I got to do it all over again. If you are a good employee and you bring value to the company, they will keep you.
They will keep you. Look, if I'm lying, bro, my brotherhood is right here. You could ask him. We parked yesterday. We parked at this parking structure in downtown LA, right? They, on the app, told me I had 2 free days to park here. I'd pay for the 3rd day. No problem, right? I tried to book it online. It didn't work out. When I got to the parking structure, I asked the man that was working there. He was like, hey, don't worry about it. When you come on back, go into the office. They'll take care of you. Went on about my trip, came back. I'm in there talking to the people. I'm like, look, you see my 2 free days here. This is what happened. And they're like, well, I mean, you got to book it in advance. That's all I can tell you. There's nothing we could do for you. And I'm like, but you see that I got the points here. You could always apply that.
Yeah.
Could you give me the discount? I mean, it's here and I tried. Here's the challenge. You can see I'm not trying to get over on you. I actually have this. So we're going back and forth. I said, you know what? It's no problem. So then I paid for it, and I'm like, well, I'm going to come back. I'm going to get my 2 free days, and I'll never park here again. But not only that, that means anybody else that I would bring over here, you're not getting their business either. Mm-hmm. And you might be like, well, that's just one guy and whomever he's going to bring. But how many people are going to go through that, and how many people are your employees going to let walk out the door 100%. Like that, and it's going to begin to eat at your bottom line? And I was like, I'll never hire a person like that because on the back end, they are killing my business when they could simply say, you know what, sir, can I provide you? I might not be able to do everything, and I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Can I provide you a discount? Let me see what I can do. This is the best I could do. And you know what? Here's what I'm going to do on top of that. Then I would have came back like, look, man, they took care of me. This happened. It's all good. And then I fly. I don't know. I'm about to fly to San Francisco in 2 weeks. So then I'm going to be in Napa. Yeah. Like, this business thing is happening all the time. Customer service is at an all-time low. And if you don't get a quality employee, they're going to suck the life out of your business. When you're a
small business, every dollar counts.
Every single one.
Every single counts. So it's like, and then that's like sometimes the downfall of an entrepreneur is because you want to make the client happy so much that you jump through all these hoops. But it's like, how I see it sometimes, it's like, you know what? That's what's gotten me here.
Yeah.
So why am I going to stop it now that the ball is rolling?
And sometimes it's literally just empathizing and hearing the person out. Yes. I'm so sorry that was your experience. I tell my educators when they go to campus, look, if they get on you, anything short of like blatantly disrespecting you, putting their hands on you or something like that, I just need you to hold serve. Because if you have my back while you're on campus, I promise you, any of these contract meetings I go in, I will walk away from the whole agreement for you.
Yeah.
I will go to bat for you because I got your back.
Yeah.
But just in person, I need you to have my back. So when I walk in those rooms, I'm going to say, I know every single employee I have, and I know they wouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. And I need to be able to stand on that, because if I need to throw that $230,000 contract away, I will for you.
Yeah.
Because I can sell. I'll go get another contract. But if you're that quality employee, I cannot get another you.
It's hard to find them.
Yeah.
That is the issue where I feel like, you know, the U.S. government or whatever, people need to make more money. People need more money. I don't say that's not true. I think definitely a living wage is very important, but it's like
sure.
There also comes a point in time where you have to bring more value to the market if you want more money. And that's what entrepreneurs, business owners realize. The more value I bring, the more money I'm worth. It's very simple. Like, and the thing that they don't get is slowly but surely you're just going to be eliminated by technology.
Period.
So if you don't, like, someone's like, are you scared of Chat GPT? And I'm like, no. And they're like, why? And I said, because I could type in Chat GPT, how do you buy a house? Or how much do you need down or whatever. But if I type in what is going on in this current real estate market in Riverside, California, it can't answer that question.
Yeah.
Only I can answer it.
Yeah.
So you just have to step your game up
Yeah.
to where the technology can't replace you. If you want to stay here, then yes, technology will replace you. But if you're coming up higher, it's impossible. You're never going to be replaced.
And as a public speaker, people always ask me, hey, can I get your slides? Or, can I have access to this? I'm like, sure. They're like, oh, I just want to know because, some people are a little afraid about their things. I'm like, look, man, you could have all of the ingredients, but you ain't got the sauce.
Yeah.
I am the key ingredient here. You take me out, the flavor don't taste the same. Now, if you're good with imitation, that's fine. Chat GPT, yeah, they might have the ingredients. They could get you by, but I'm the sauce.
Yeah.
I'm the secret ingredient. You need that, and that's because you make yourself so valuable that if, like Lil Wayne said on the line, he said, when I left, I took the special effects out that because he was the star. He's the special effect. If you remove me, you move all of this star status. Chat GPT, what are you afraid of? You better figure out how to use it to your benefit. How could it make you faster? What are the mundane things that you don't need to do that you could use that software for? And then you move on because you know your value.
That spends more time on other things that actually are revenue. That's the other thing I don't think people understand with businesses. Oh, I've been working a lot. I understand that. But what you're doing isn't revenue making for the company.
Yeah.
So you doing it or someone else doing it, you can put 40 hours a weekend, but if it's not bringing more revenue to the company,
then it's just activity.
It's just activity at that point where it's like, I'm sorry, but you see me and you see me do less work.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing is way more revenue. Like one call can make us this amount of money where what you do all week makes us, it's just maintaining the company.
Magic said it take the same amount of time to make $100 million as it does to make $1 million.
It does.
Same amount of time. It's just how productive are you in those short gaps of time.
Yeah.
And it's that's why I say it's the entrepreneurial mind. You're problem solving, your solutions focused, you're ahead of the curve, you're studying, you're growing, you're always improving. And as employees, they don't require that from you. Therefore, many stay in that same position. Hey, I've been in this position for the last 20 years. If you like it, I love it. But you have the opportunity to go wherever you want to go based off of what's happening between the ears. Just find the process. And if you emulate that, I promise you, you create whatever life you want out here.
Well, and I think too, do you struggle with entrepreneurship on Instagram? Like, can you tell who phonies are?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
I just want to know.
So, it's a game.
Yeah.
Understanding the game. It's all marketing.
Yeah.
It's all a game. People paying for it. Whatever you're doing, I respect it. It's a game. I got 11,000 some followers on Instagram. Do you know I ain't got no contract from Instagram?
No?
My company, though, over $1 million, I ain't.
No contract from Instagram?
No.
Well,
because business ain't only happening online. That's an illusion.
Yeah.
It could help. That's great. Yeah, we want to bring in that extra revenue, especially if it's easy.
Do you just pick up the phone and call? Is that what
I did.
No, not anymore.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, man. I knocked on every single school district's door in Moreno Valley, and I didn't get nobody to shake my hand for a long time. But after that, calls, pop-ups, drop-ins, now I got a team. I can deploy educators to go do drop-ins, solicit information. We sending out mailers. We're doing online marketing. We got a marketing team that follows you all over the internet and all of the other stuff, right? Targeting ads and all of that stuff. But that's a part of it. B2B is still king, right? I did a conference last year, right? They called me in the 11th hour because somebody in that room knew me. Somebody fell out. They was like, we need an opening keynote. And somebody said, call Oliver. Oliver will kill this. Hey, we got a spot for you. I know it's tomorrow, but say less. I'll be there. Rocked it. I did 6 contracts off of that speech alone through one contact.
That's the game, dude. I think too many people don't realize it's relationship building and not what people think. Like, one relationship can make you so much money if you take care of the right person.
That's what I was talking about with the parking situation. Yeah. You never know who is who. Dr. Bezjian, she when I went to grad school, she stood up for orientation. Old white lady, gray hair, and she asked us. She said, "We're gonna play a game," and I'm sitting in the back, all like, "Lady, I'm paying 20-something grand. I ain't trying to play no game. I'm trying to get this master's degree, right?" So she goes, "How many of you know Jay-Z?" Now I'm really in the back, like, what shorty know about Hov? Like, what can she know about Hov? She said, "Who do you think is in his top 5 contacts?" She said, "It's probably somebody in or above his tax bracket, because successful people want to hang around other successful people." So she said, the game that we're going to play is, who do you know that knows that knows? And simply because I know you, you might know this person that might be in contact with this CEO, this decision maker, this gatekeeper. And you could be like, "Hey, I did an interview with Oliver, amazing guy, really respectful. I'd like to introduce you. He's really trying to get in here." And they might be like, "Oh, you said so? Bring him through. Oh, you know what? Hey, he spoke so highly of you. You know what? You fit the bill. Hey, man, let's go ahead and do this thing. You don't even want to see what I'm selling?" No, he already said you're good.
When people ask me, I love people go, "Why do you do the podcast?" They always ask me, "Why do you do the podcast?" Especially in real estate. "Why do you do the podcast? How much money? What's your ROI on the podcast?" And I say, "Listen, man. I don't know what the ROI is. I know it's maybe a lot of money, but I'm like, what is 100 podcasts? What's 1,000 podcasts where I meet 1,000 people that I have a reason to talk to them for an hour that you don't have a reason to?" I was like, you don't have this opportunity because you don't want to put in 1,000 podcasts.
Bingo.
I'll do the or they'll be like, "Oh, I want to do what you do." Okay, great. Well, this room is $10,000 for everything. Do you want to invest that? No, I don't want to invest that.
No way.
I don't want to pay someone full time to edit the podcast. No, right? But that's the thing. I'm gonna meet in 10 years. I'll meet 1,000 people.
This is sweat equity.
100%.
You know?
1,000 people will sit in this chair. Well, we won't be here next year, but we'll be sitting in a room with me for an hour. And I have no idea where that's going to go. Yeah. But I'll tell you what. I now have 1,000 people that I could maybe, if I need something, I could hit someone up and be like, "Hey, yo, what's up, dude? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, I'm doing this. Do you know someone that can do that?" Or, "Hey, I know you spoke about that." Like, that is the magic. 2
things. My speaking coach and mentor, Coach V, early on, he said, "Oliver, I want you to know this. We gonna make money. You're nice, kid. You're nice. We're gonna make money, but the wealth is in the relationship."
Yeah.
Oh, the wealth is in the relationship. We're breaking bread. We're family. We're connected. That's where the true wealth is. And then in terms of like podcasting, you're providing platforms for people, 100 people, 1,000 people to come in and talk about what they do, have listeners get inside their brain and pick apart some of the things. If y'all listening, I just want you to pay attention to how many names that I dropped that are mentors of mine. I just been casually dropping names and what I've learned from them, whether they're in person and I sit at their feet, or they're virtual mentors like a Magic Johnson. I'm just studying and watching, but I'm able to give this game because I'm on your platform. Yeah, that's invaluable.
Yeah. Well,
what if
ET blew up? ET blew up. If ET blew up, just some guy videotaping him that he didn't even know was videotaping him, and he was talking randomly at some high school.
Yep.
And he did him, and it went viral.
Boom.
And now look at him.
Yep.
Like, nowadays, we're literally one clip away from getting your 15 minutes, and then if you're good, keeping it.
So if we bring it all the way full circle, what we talked about, what does America value?
Entertainment.
Entertainment.
That's it.
one viral clip. That's entertaining.
We were watching, I'll admit this, I was watching the Kardashians last night, and I laugh at them because, like, they're just faces. And people go, hey, I want you to own 50% of this company because I know I'm going to make a crap load of money if your face is on it and you're 100 million followers on Instagram and blah, 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 blah. They know nothing about makeup or tequila or none of that stuff.
Skims or what? Yeah.
Nothing. And it's like, if it wasn't for their popularity, they wouldn't be in the position they're in. But what were they first? Entertainers. And they leveraged the entertainment for business.
You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
And you know what those businesses value? The relationships that the Kardashians have with their audience.
Yes.
It's still back to relationships. Some of these things are so simple, you make it complex because you're like, it can't be that simple.
They want to make it complex so you don't do it. They want to make it complex so you feel like you can't do it, or you have to buy some program, or you have to go get that 40 degree, or whatever it is. They think that they want it. I tell everyone, it is literally all the Instagram memes that you see that are like, who
it's
you
really
surround
that.
Yourself with. Have a daily plan. Health, mind, relationships.
Yeah.
All the basic stuff that you're like, no way, can't be that easy. It has to be this $5,000, $10,000 program. And that's the other thing too. People are like, I'm like, it's not the 5,000. The biggest person I ever met was I paid someone $5,000. I ever thought I was crazy. You're gonna pay someone $5,000 for 12 calls for 12 weeks? Yes, I am. That one $5,000 coaching thing connected me with a builder, which then made me $100,000, which then connected me with another builder, which now I'm on my third building with them, project with them.
Yeah.
And then,
man, I get the chills and stuff like that.
And then he connected me with 2 more builders.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna sell 50 houses with this year. So $5,000 investment. I don't even remember what we talked about in that coaching group, to be honest. I've never done anything from that coach. But that $5,000 thing got me the connection.
Yeah.
And put me in a room that I still had to perform and close.
Right.
But I would never have been in that room without that person calling me.
Or that $5,000 investment.
And then that
investment.
Then my next builder, crushing with him, then led to, now what people don't get, now I have the track record of saying, hey, I've sold 5 projects. This is what we do with our small developers. This is why it's going to save you money. This is why you need to hire us. Now we have the credibility.
Yeah.
So that's why it's
leverage.
That's why when he says it's the same to make $1 million as to make $100 million is after you have showed the world that you are credible.
Man.
Then the doors open easier.
All you got to do is become him.
Yes.
If you do the work, you become him. There is no such thing as luck. In my book, Win Today, there's a chapter that says Lady Luck, and there's no such thing as luck. It's when preparation and opportunity meet. You have to be ready for the moment. I told you I did the speech, right?
Yeah.
And that led to 6 other contracts. I'm flying up to Northern California. This talk is about to potentially go to the White House. Like, it's a whole situation. I got a whole relationship with a whole nother county in Northern California. That's the hub of the education world in California. So then my guy, he's putting on the equity conference, a friend of mine. Somebody I did business with in the past. And he's like, hey, I'm going to give you a vendor booth, if you could help out. I'm like, no problem. I'm like, hey, man, you need any sponsorships? He's like, man, I'm actually looking for somebody to sponsor the karaoke night. I go to my president. Hey, sit down. Hey, I think we should sponsor the karaoke night. You know what? Let's do it. Cost me $14,000. $14,000, right, to sponsor the karaoke night. I sponsor it. He calls me the next day. He's like, hey, I know the conference is tomorrow. You got to be him. You got to be prepared.
Yeah.
I know the conference is tomorrow. I didn't know it was going to cost you $14,000. But I haven't been up on what you've been doing lately, but I know you. I got a 45-minute keynote spot at lunchtime. It's at lunchtime. Done. I'll be there. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. Oh, I get to get on stage with the Jeremy Andersons and these other top speakers, and I get to show out. Throw me the alley-oop, watch me show out.
Now you're competing against them.
So I go out there, rock the show, right? Off that 14 grand, 2 deals, 150.
Yeah.
But that initial investment, like somebody like, oh, you spent $14,000 on karaoke?
Yeah.
No, I didn't spend $14,000 on karaoke. I spent $14,000 cultivating a relationship that bear fruit about me getting on stage. But I still had to be him. I still had to go out there and deliver. And then I had to have the wherewithal to make the relationships that turned into a $150,000 deal.
That's why you have to be around the right people, because if you were hanging out with the wrong people and that person calls and then you hang up and they're like, what? And you're like, yeah, I'm thinking about dropping like $14K on a karaoke night. All your homies would be like, that's dumb.
Yeah,
Why would you do that? And then you're like, maybe it is dumb. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Oh, that's gonna fail. Oh my god. And then you don't do it. But when you're around,
they
the
didn't
right
talk
people,
you out of it.
They talk you out of it. But when you're around the right people, you're like, yeah, bet, do it.
And can we do this real quick? Can I bring it down and let me speak at like a base level, because we're talking 14 and 152. Yeah. Right. So they're like, oh, I don't got that. Right.
100%.
There is a local rapper in your neighborhood right now that got sauce, just getting started, needs some investment, needs some marketing, need a video done, needs something that you could provide. You got $5,000 laying around. It might not be an artist. It might be an up-and-coming entrepreneur that just, you know what I'm saying? And you got it, but you are holding back because you don't have the vision to see what that person can become and invest in that. You're not giving to then put yourself in position to cultivate more. There's people around you right now that you can invest in, whether financially, spiritually, or emotionally, to push them ahead. And that would return so much fruit to you. But because you're so afraid to invest, they don't get it and you don't get it.
Or even go lower. Just sharing people's content. Like,
oh man.
I'm not wearing a hat today, but like, I don't wear any name brand stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, I only rock my buddy I grew up with, Justin, who owns One Love IE.
Oh, that's my man.
Yeah.
Yeah. J Hud. Yeah.
We've known each other since 10, right?
Okay.
So like, we've literally like, I only wear his gear, I only wear his hats, I don't wear any other hats but his.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've done like I gave away like 50 backpacks like 3-4 years ago. I made custom backpacks with his logo on it. He didn't pay a dime for that. I bought all the stuff, no discount. Let me pay your stuff, right? And people go, why do you do that? I'm like, why am I going to rock a name brand like Gucci or whatever? I don't care.
Right.
But like, I'm wearing one of his hats on Saturday in San Diego, and some dude comes up and goes, dope hat, man. I'm like, yeah, One Love IE. Look him up. Go for it. And if that gets some guy to buy a hat, who am I not to help him? Right? Like I have his shoes up there. I have his boards on my wall. Like, if I'm going to invest money in a company, why would it not be my friend?
Somebody right around the way. Somebody right here. They local. IE. One Love IE.
Exactly.
We from the IE. I pulled up at his opening. I've been to the Tyler where he still had the booth. Let me get that hat. Let me rock that on stage. It comes back to you, even if it doesn't come back from that person or within that group. What you're doing is putting that supportive energy in the world that's going to be returned to you. Stop looking for a monetary gain with everything. Put the energy out there. Do you and watch the world work. It's just like that.
I tell people all the time, if you're not happy, give back. Like, if you're not in a good spot, like if you're unhappy with your life, stop worrying about yourself. Go figure out how you can get back.
Yeah, go volunteer somewhere.
Go volunteer. Go help someone. It's like, that is the problem, is that you're not. It's whatever you're doing is not working anyways. So let's try something different.
Change the energy,
bro.
bro.
Let's just try to change this up, because when you give, goes back to the stupid Instagram post. When you give, it feels good.
And again, you're cultivating a relationship.
Yes.
A relationship with the universe, a relationship to those that you give to, a relationship for those that you assist. It's all relational. We all need each other. And everybody gets so caught up with being used. Oh, you use me, you use me, you use me. You want to be used. Use me till I got nothing left. Just don't abuse me. But use me. I'm here. I'm a servant. This is what I do. When I speak, the next day, if I don't have another gig, I'm asleep because I need to replenish my energy, because I have given everything I have emotionally, because I am here to be used, and so are you. You just need to make sure that you're around people that don't abuse you. But please, please be used at all costs. Otherwise, what value do you bring?
That's the biggest thing, is that if you are going to make it anywhere in life, you're going to have to be used by people. But if you're being used, that means you bring value to them. Yeah. And you then want to use other people. like if I am your friend and I can help you get somewhere, why would you not call me and I would make that call? It is easy for me to make a call. Yeah. If I have a relationship, just call me. I'll make the call.
You know, like in my culture, right? I'm a hip hop fan. I was raised on hip hop. That's all I know, right? It's all in my speeches. It's in my tour. It's in my books. You know, it's everywhere. Hip hop is like the dad. Yeah. Unfortunately, there are some things that you start to realize as you get older, and hip hop has this very isolated feel where you feel like you got to write every rhyme, you got to make every song. I was just watching the Whitney Houston movie, and her 4 biggest songs were already complete. They were already sung by somebody else, and they were playing the record in the movie. And I was like, man, that didn't even have no soul in it. Whitney got a hold of it, sung that, and I'm like, oh, bro, her ad-libs had soul. Just when she came in, and I was like, she took that record out of the world. She like took it past the stars and the moon. But that's collaborative. It's that relational component and being able to connect. But we come from I write all my rhymes and I don't collaborate with such and such over there. Drake is so big because he collaborates.
Well, and he's smart because he'll see whoever's coming up who's hot. Hey,
give them an assist.
Hey, let me hop on your track. We'll do one together.
Right.
It's
gonna go.
It's gonna go. But now I'm getting a new group of people who might not know who Drake is. I'm now gonna get in front of them, and I'm gonna make a good song, and that's gonna do good for both of us.
And people be like, "Well, he's still in the audience because he's Drake." And what about like I Love McCohen? He just wasn't good enough. He didn't have more in the tuck. Yes. He wasn't a star. He had a hit. So when you look at the Migos had multiple hits. Drake helped out with Versace, but they came back and kept hitting you. That assistance, if you're great, if you're already him, if you already put the work in, that assistance is going to raise your light faster, but it's going to stay lit, right? Like I ain't had no cosigns. I ain't connected with nobody, right? Like in this way where they're going to put me on, right? Like there's no ET that, you know what I'm saying? There's no...
You're not like the Gary Vee speaker.
Yeah, no, nobody's came out here and, you know what I'm saying, put me on. Yeah. But if somebody was to turn a light over here, there's nobody that's going to be like, he put him on. Because there's been a 10-year journey that you can go back and check my track record. I've been saving lives on campuses and off campuses. Kids wanting to commit suicide. People wanting to leave their job but being fearful to do so. Districts that need to change their entire approach from a foundational core standpoint that I've impacted over the last decade. But I'm still not afraid to collaborate. And if somebody was to shine their light over here, I'm going to run with it because I've already put that work in.
But then that's the thing, is they understand the game. And even like a good rapper with a bad producer, you can't
hard to overcome. It's hard to overcome.
Or a great producer can't make a great rapper. It just doesn't work that way. Like
you could make a hit. You could get one off.
You could get lucky.
You know what I said? You might be able to get one.
But to create a whole album,
Yeah.
I mean, even someone like, what's his name? The white guy right now that Drake did a cool song with him.
Jack Harlow.
Yeah, Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow is like,
He's nice.
He's nice, but can he make a whole long album? That's questionable right now. But he'll make 2 or 3 bangers in there. Even his last album he just came out with, he made his song shorter because he knows that's his strength and that's what sounds good.
Yep, I gotta make that bounce.
I'm gonna make that work. Just like I hate when people. I'm a big Drake fan. I hate when people are like, Drake needs to go different. Dude, just let him do what he does well. He don't need to. And then he'll try to go off and be hard. It's like, Drake, you're not hard, dude. Like, just go back to what you're good at. You know?
We were just talking about this, right? Like, it's all about who you serve.
100%.
And if you understand who you serve, right? Like, if you serve just one group, and let's say you're cooking for 30 people, you could make sure it's seasoned to the top of the line. You don't have to make it stretch. That 30 people is going to get pure substance. Now, if you have the same ingredients and now you have to serve 300 people, it's not going to have the same substance in it unless you go get more ingredients to help out, unless you get more hands in the system to help out. Now, if you got to serve 3,000, 300,000, right, you got to figure out more ways to expand what you're doing. Drake serves so many groups that when I drop my pop record, that's serving that audience. Yeah. When I drop the song for the ladies, that's serving this audience. When I'm with 21 Savage, that's serving this audience. But you can't understand that because all you do is make the chicken.
Yeah.
You don't make the seafood pasta with the fried catfish and the gumbo on the side.
He's okay upsetting that group because he knows it's a play down the road. He's like, I'm going to come back with an album in 6 months.
I'll serve you.
They're going to love it. They're going to forget about this album. They're not going to care. It's just
because all you care about is when I come back and serve you. When I bring that, when it's substance,
and you entertain me.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You entertain me. That's it.
Got
you cultivate our relationship with your music.
But I tell you this. You know what the greatest thing I love about this podcast and why I tell everyone to start their own podcast is the way you learn is by communicating.
Yeah.
That's the most way I've ever learned in my life is communicating with other like-minded people or other people who are not like-minded like me.
Facts.
Where I go, wow, got it.
I didn't see it that way.
Because I believe this. If the same thing happened to you happened to me, I'd probably feel the same way you did, but it didn't. So how do you want me to feel that way? Same thing. If you feel a certain way, I understand it because that happened to you, and I understand why you feel that way.
Yeah.
And if more people could live life that way, where it's like, cool, you feel that way, I feel this way, let's find a middle ground, and let's just be happy, and let's just take care of each other.
Yeah.
And if we work together, that's what people don't get. The more we work together as a community on a small scale, the stronger we get. And the stronger we get, the more powerful things we can take from it.
Yeah.
And that is why the system is the way they are, because they don't want us doing that. They want to worry about X. They want us to worry about this. They want you to be worrying about that. But what it's doing is taking away from you thinking and teaching the way to think a certain way. Because if they control your mind, then they control your emotions, then they control your actions. And that's the problem.
It's the greatest art of deception right here.
100%.
It's been happening for generations.
And if you don't realize it by now, and it takes people like you to have a voice to show someone. Because the sad part about it is people need, in my opinion, and I could be wrong because I'm not from, people need someone that came from where they are at to be like, okay, well, if they did it, I can do it.
Yeah. I hope people look at me and be like, bro, he did it. Oh man,
I can do it.
I know it. Him, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope you're at home like, bro, that guy. Oh man, and if you said that, I'm not even upset with. I will still help you out.
100%.
Please say that, bro.
100%.
Please.
Yeah.
If we could just understand how valuable your experiences are to your future. If you could just understand how valuable the experiences around you are to your future, and you could take those and you can put them in perspective for yourself and figure out how to squeeze as much juice from that orange as you can, I promise you, you will create whatever life you want. Me and my brother was just laughing. I said, bro, do you recognize I created a whole business off of our childhood trauma?
That in the moment, you thought was the worst thing happened, but it was the greatest thing that ever happened to you?
Because it's not about what you go through. It's about what you grow through. And what you grow through is going to have enough quality soil to help other people plant and keep sprouting. I believe we are all an MLM structure, right? Everybody has a downline. So how are you helping the next 3, this arm with this arm, who's coming from this branch and this tree? How are they learning and growing from you? Again, serving. Again, being valuable. Again, being used. Again, relationship. This stuff ain't rocket science. I promise you, it's a young boy, young girl out there right now trying to figure it out. Look at your life and figure out what you want and use it.
And if you know someone that's doing what you want, just go find a reason to get around them as much as possible.
Whether if it's online,
oh yeah,
whether if it's in whether you got to pull up at the event, whatever you got to do, just get in the energy, get in the aura, and just believe in you.
Yeah.
I did a consultation this morning. We're talking business strategy, and she's telling me, I can't do that. Well, I'm this age and I'm not. Stop telling me what you can't do, because he who thinks he can and he who thinks he can are both right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to convince you otherwise. I'm just going to tell you, you know somebody who did it. So you on the phone with them. You talking to the source right now. Plug in, believe in you, because you are your greatest asset. I'm the asset.
Yes.
I am the asset. But you have to begin to understand that. In this construct, this society teaches you that you're not the asset. That's why you got to go to school, and you're not valuable unless you got a master's degree.
And you got to trick the algorithms. Obviously, social media what it is, but like I swear to God, like I love TikTok because I can trick the algorithm into only pumping me in the things I want to see, and it's such a good thing. So you have to know that it's an algorithm, and you have to know. So it's like, for me, especially, TikTok don't want you looking at the good stuff.
Right.
So I'm like, heart. I'll rewatch the same
reel
of the things I want. Anything I don't want to watch,
scroll
swipe
past.
really fast.
Yep.
Really fast. Boom. And slowly but surely, I start going. And when I'm down and out, I go to TikTok, and I have the algorithm, and it's like everything I need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I need to hear. And
yep.
Boom.
And we are. All of our self-esteem is diminishing because all we're doing is watching people on vacation, watching people start businesses, but we not going to go do it. So it's just draining us like, oh man, that looks so good. But there's a time where you're growing from learning, and then there's a time where it's beating you down because you are looking at their life and wishing it was yours instead of saying, damn, they did that. Okay, cool. Let me learn how to do that. The algorithm is your friend if you know how to use it. Yeah. That's it. This stuff is simple, man. I just hope that our community, I hope that this Inland Empire, Riverside, Moreno Valley, all over the IE understands when people say anything's possible, that is true. Yeah. But it's possible if you make it happen. 100%. You have to make it happen. And sometimes you have to go through the grind.
You're going to.
The destination is not a real thing. The destination is the journey. Yes. The journey is the destination. 100%. So just be on that and be happy with all that you're going to have to grow through.
Just know it's never going to end.
Would you really want it to?
Well, the question is, if you ever reach the top, would you even be happy there? And then is that the reason why you see very successful people never really fulfilled when they actually make it to the top? Because then they realize it wasn't that made them happy.
But if you put it in your mind, I never wanted to reach the top. I didn't say I wanted to be the #1 speaker in the world or better than ET. That ain't my goal.
Yeah.
My goal is I want to super serve the people that I serve.
Yes.
I respect Eric. I respect Inky. I respect Jeremy. I respect Les Brown. I respect Tony Robbins, all of those guys, but respectfully, none of them do what I do.
Yeah.
They can never be me, and I can't be them. And that's okay. Yeah. Wherever the chips fall, I'm good with that.
That's perfectly fine.
When I save their life, when I save a parent and they're like, man, I never connected with my son before. You know what? I had to go and call my son and apologize because I didn't understand I was making him feel like this. And man, he called me back crying. My job's done.
100%. What's the best way people get a hold of you? Watch your stuff.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you can find me on all my social medias, Mr. Negative, or you can find me on my website at oliverpetty.com. Be on the lookout. We'll be updating that soon. But if you want to hit any of my socials, TikTok, YouTube, IG, whatever, Mr. Negative.
Boom. Wow. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you, King.
This all came from one DM.
One DM, brother.
One DM.
Simple like that. And I didn't know you were up the street.
I know, right?
Man.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thanks, guys. Go follow him. Go reach out. Go share. Go help the people that you need around you. Whatever your life wants to be, just remember, it's only your thoughts. Then it turns into your actions. You got this. So remember, if I can do it, you can do it. If he can do it, you can do it. Just remember that.
Yeah.
If someone you know have done
Yeah.
you can do it. All right, guys. Until next time. Peace.